grab the keywords. We need sustainable access to acceptable quality. And then, for ensuring protection against waterborne pollutions, water-related disaster, and for preserving ecosystems in a climate of peace and political stability. That's why I mentioned always water scarcity comes with hydropolitical conflicts. Remember these keywords. We need water security for a population, for people, for environment. We need sustainable access with acceptable quality to prevent political problems. Political problems, which means daily life of people. So in order to secure our world, we need to secure our water. Water security requires collaborations on different sectors. It's not just about government or just about people themselves. We need to reduce the potential conflict risk. It's got to work with ecosystems, some climate agencies, some other activities, some economic sectors. Water security has been an indicator for the security. Now we all know that how important water security is for the world secure in terms of the economy, environment, and public health. This is the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. You probably are familiar with that. Sustainable Development Goals. It says that if we can work on these 17 goals, we can have a sustainable world with enough natural resources, an available quantity of natural products for our current generations and the future generations. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, clean energy, decent work, infrastructures, reduced inequalities, sustainable communities, responsible consumption and productions, climate actions, life below water and on lands, and cooperations, plus the peace and justice. It means that if you can follow these 17 goals, if you can work on these 17 goals, we're going to have a secure world for ourselves and our children. Here it is. Let's see how we can link these 17 goals to the water. What I'm going to tell you is that water actually is the heart of each of these goals, even those who are related to the structures. It's shared resourcing. The SDG provides an opportunity for deal with the water security crisis. We need coordinations, we need helping hands, we need to cooperate, each different sectors together. So, which goal number was it?
6.
Good. 6. Clean water and sanitation. You're still with us. Good. So, clean water and sanitation is goal number 6. Water security is a keystone element to achieve this agenda. This is designed to reach to 2030. We hope to get that. Now we want to see how we can link each of these goals quickly, just with short talk, to the water. This is the 17 goals. Goal number 1, 2, 3. 1 is no poverty. We can prioritize the water and sanitation needs to the poor. We can overcome the poverty by providing enough water. When water is there, food is there, agriculture is there. When food is there, no hunger, no poverty, no hunger. Stopping malnutrition by sanitation. Many kids, many children in the world are suffering from malnutrition. Less available nutrients. If you have enough water for agriculture, then you can overcome the malnutrition problems. Good health, improving health through better sanitation and water. When many of the health-related problems comes because of the less hygienic water. Water means safety, water means hygiene. Quality of education, increasing school attendance by providing water, sanitation, and hygiene in school. It's hard to believe, but many parts of the world, the schools, they do not have access to clean water or clean sanitations. Let's go. Number 5, 7, 8, because 6 already clean water. Gender equality. How gender equality could be attributed to water? Improve work and educational opportunities for women and girls by reducing time spent in collecting water. Gender equality means many girls, they do not have a chance to study. Why? Because their main job is go to tens of kilometers away to collect water. If you can give them available water, they do not need to spend working on finding water, so they can go to school, same as boys. Affordable clean energy, sustainable energy using water and using recycling. Instead of using water for electricity, we can use recycling water. Decent work, protecting employees by providing water, sanitation, and hygiene at their workplace. This is what many parts of the world are facing. In some parts of India, when a bride is going to go to her new rooms, one of the requests, a very important gift that a groom should give to a bride, is give them hygiene bathrooms. And they will open it just like the ceremony. We have hygiene bathrooms. This is happening, really, this is true, this is happening in many parts of the world. The other goals, industries, by making some innovations in water usage, in reduced inequalities, by providing educational and work chance to have the universal access to water. For sustainable cities, promoting cleaner city by building better water infrastructure-based, water harvesting, like the rainwater harvesting, promoting better management and consumptions, and managing water responsibility for the climate actions goal. It's an important one, because we can manage our water to reduce or limit the risk of flooding and droughts, which is directly related to the water. Water, number 14, life below water, preventing pollution of water bodies. We can contribute water into the life below water. On land, protecting life on land. Life below water or on land, both depends on water. And building strong and transport institutions. We need fair access to water resources. We need that cooperation. So that's what number 17 is quite important. Partnership for the goals. We need to engage countries, universal. If you want to have a secure world, we need a secure water. This is how we can attribute it. What you can do, a very short, I try to collect it as quick as possible. How individually we can do to save the water. Some parts are related to governments, but how we can do as a community members. Simple ones in kitchen. Whenever you wash the dishes by hand, don't leave the water running for rinsing. Now let's see why it's important. This can save up to 1,900 liters every month. These numbers can help us to make a big change. Just, we can use sensors. The use of sensors in Taiwan is a good idea because it makes you save the water. Another thing, use minimum quantity of dishwashing liquids. Why? It can save about 560 liters every month. If you just use less detergent, less dishwashing liquids, it means you have less, no need to wash it too much to rinse those liquid detergents. Make sure not to defrost the frozen foods with running water. This is many of us used to do. We take out the freezed food out of the freezer and we keep it under the water to make it warmer, melt the ice faster. If you don't do that, it can save 500 liters every month, more than 500 liters every month. In the bathrooms, you all know about how to reduce the shower time and those things. Now let's go on something else. Check the toilets for leaking. Leaks. The simple way is just put a dye tablet or food coloring into the tank and wait for night. If the water in the bowl, without flushing, has been changed, means that you have leaking problems. This is the simple way to detect leaking. Put watercolor in tank, no need to flush after a few hours. If you detect water in bowl, so it means that you have leaking problems. Why leaking is important? Because it can attribute to 1,500 liters per month of water. Don't use toilet as ashtray or waste basket. Many times people put their butt cigarettes and flush it out. Easy way to get rid of that. It's not a waste basket. Of course, when you brush your teeth, close the water and it helps you 500 liters per month. In the garden, which is quite useful, I guess, for the dear community members, avoid waterings in windy days. It's a new one. When it's windy, try not to water your garden because the rate of evaporation would be high. You need more water. It's attributed to about 1,000 liters wasting when you water in a windy day. Or try to use some kinds of mulch around the trees, plants. It makes them not look good, but also keep the water for a longer time. Saves you about 5,600 liters water per month. Use drip irrigation systems, which is you're gonna use a tank with some piping systems. It helps you to save 5,000 liters per month of water. And also think about collecting water, like the rainwater harvesting system. We have similar things in EcoCenter and CJCU. So 1 inch of rainfall can be 100 liters of water available. You can collect it. And most important one, increase the awareness between your friends, your families, educate your kids, your friends and neighbors. So the comments from our beloved Jane Goodall. Dr. Jane said, every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes a difference. So remember that. No water, no life. No blue, no green. Thank you very much. I tried to wrap it up, sorry.
No. You know what, this really impressed me. You know, a lot of numbers which I could not remember, a lot of statistics, but you know, it's very precious data for us to keep in mind. You know, you enrich my knowledge, you know, in this area, really, you know. So, any questions now? Great.
So, thank you for your wonderful presentation. It really helped us a lot because I think it's very important for all of us here. But I have a question here. You mentioned some problems which make water scarce in Taiwan, but you didn't mention about their irrigation system. Because, you know, I have been trying to walk along some farm in Taiwan, and I still need to visit a lot of farms in Taiwan. Maybe I can learn something for my future. But I found they use this fallow irrigation, which is one of the worst irrigation systems, which for me, I don't like it because it wastes a lot of water. So I don't know why you didn't mention it. Maybe it doesn't consume a lot of water. Maybe it doesn't, but for my understanding, I know it's one of the worst systems which consume a lot of water in Taiwan. But I think even the water uses is much higher than what they have.
Okay, thank you for your questions. This is a good point to mention. That's one of the reasons I put some information of how you should use dripping irrigation systems rather than traditional ways. But the point is that why we do not have that much data, because it's not easy to collect those reliable data. It's not easy to evaluate and access to all farms and collect those reliable data. And most of those studies are most local based. So you cannot find those data that have been worldwide published, then you can have access. Basically, I will get my information from the English-based documents. And it is more local based. So the problem is they used a lot of water in their irrigation systems in agriculture and farming, but still the real numbers, the statistics data has not been proved yet. That's one of the reasons the government, the NGO people, they cannot convince each other because the reliable data source is not available. We need a database. This is an important part. We need to provide a database for agriculture sectors, for the industrial sectors, for the domestic sectors, and those data should be daily operated. We do have this for domestic ones. It's public available. You can have access. But we do not have it mainly because we did not involve ourselves into the survey of water conservation practice in agriculture and farming. This can be a very good topic to work in Taiwan. Water conservation practice in agricultural sectors. So you can involve your own experience, and after I suggest you to try to look for different areas of Taiwan, not just, for example, Tainan areas. Good to go and have a look on how farmers will practice farming on Pingtons, how they do that in northern Taiwan. So it gives you more basic information. Nothing is equal to in-person visit. You may do lots of research, but you do not come up with the solid evidence as long as you do not get in-person involved with the situations.
Go ahead. Is it Morris?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your good presentation. Thank you. You talked about how water is polluted sometimes, mostly in the northern part where there are illegal camps. But to me, there is also another observation I've made. regarding agriculture still and how it affects water quality, especially when we are applying chemical fertilizers.
Mm-hmm.
I think to me it's a huge problem and it affects aquatic life. So is there any way we can change the attitude of farmers? Because they apply that, the fertilizers or chemicals fighting the pests, or they want to increase the production. But to me, I think if they can have an attitude and confidence in the application of organic manure, then that would be much better than using the chemicals. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your point. I'm happy you mentioned this because I didn't have a chance to add something more. Yes, using the chemical fertilizers, it's a big problem, not just in Taiwan, also in other parts of the world. Let's look at this topic from the other points of view, from the farmer's point of view. Why they use chemical fertilizers? They want to increase their production rate. One of the reasons is that they want to have more available shelf for their products in the supermarkets. More crops would be available. Why? Because they believe that people will have more chance to buy their local products. There is one missing fact here, how we should help farmers to use less chemical fertilizers and go for more organic. The way is, we as individuals, we as governors, as officials and peoples, we have to support them by how? By give them the opportunity to produce fair trade products. Fair trade products is a very important worldwide term that is applied to those agricultural products that has been raised and produced under organic conditions, no chemical fertilizers. If a farmers, people do not know about this, many of them, but this is happening. We do have some fair trade certificates in Taiwan, but